Hello, as Mondays, emissions from the heart. It's me again. I'm chilling here. It's raining outside. I don't know if you can hear it. It's been raining for a while. It was actually, I don't know, maybe half an hour ago, it was pouring down, raining, the type that soaks you. So I was supposed to be right now sitting at a table with my girlfriend that I have dinner with every month just to talk. We drive an hour, I drive an hour south, and she drives an hour north so that we can hang out every month just over a meal. But the rain was coming down so crazily earlier. I said, Holy Spirit said, I think it's the time I need to just stay home and just relax right now and be safe. So I'm here with you. I get to talk to you a little bit earlier because I'm not down there. So schedules are schedules and they're always meant to be changed. Last weekend, my schedule, the schedule's crazy. I have something to do every day. God has me busy, but it's his schedule and I pray every morning. And I've told you about that before. I pray every morning. What's my real schedule? Because mine is on a piece of paper and yeah, it's on a piece of paper. Yeah, just thought about it. It's sitting here, right here. Let me show you my schedule. All right, so we got July. So it's on a piece of paper like this in pencil, which means it's always subject to change because it's in pencil. I don't like to put it in pen and then all of a sudden I have to scratch it out. And then if I did one of those ink erasers, that's just a mess. So it's in pencil so that I can erase it, change it, my schedule based on whatever God needs me to do. Last Saturday, I had something planned. I was supposed to have a lunch with a girlfriend. And then I think my grandson was coming over for stay the night because he comes over once a month. But two family members came in town from another state. And I think they maybe only gave us a week notice. So it just so happens that, that was a weekend that, okay, I can reschedule. So I rescheduled the girlfriend and then my grandson was going to be at the event. So I still was going to see him. So it was a change, but not quite a full change. He just didn't stay overnight for a whole nother reason. So we all got to hang out with the family, a bunch of us just impromptu, not even really impromptu because this time we had a couple of days notice. So we had a little bit of time to hang out with them, chit chat with them, laugh with them, and then just look at our family tree. Actually, it's my husband's family tree. So this individual in our family made this book like this that's full of history, a tree specifically under her and her husband, and then it branches out, which includes my husband because he's her uncle. So her mother, which is in the book, is also in that because they're all in the same family tree. So that was kind of cool just to see that book. Actually, we had got the book from her, I don't know, weeks before because she had told about it. She's really involved with genealogy and she's been doing that for quite a number of years. So now we actually have this book. And then the cool part about the book is then we can each individually go under parts of that book to find out about the more details about us. So if I wanted to look under that, because I'm under there with my husband, I can go under mine to see what's going on for my family also. So when she sent us the book, I was like, wow, that's cool because I have seen a book like this with my own family on my father's side. And it's really a lot because you think about the generations and then all the different arms and branches there are, and it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. So our family has a book similar to that, and it's overwhelming. So when I got her book, I looked at it. I just flipped through it. And I got brain damage immediately. I thought, oh my goodness, too much information. Where do I start? How does that work? So I just laid it down. Look at it some other time and figure that out. Besides, it's my husband's family anyway. So I'm like, okay, no big rush. But when she came over the weekend and she get a chance to explain how the book breaks down, how you read it, blah, blah, blah. Then I got excited because now I understood how this works. So now I'm excited about going under my husband and myself specifically, especially for me, and find information that I already know that our family already has recorded out there to bring in to see what's there and what needs to be added. Because I know I have provided a lot of information for our family and I still have yet to see what's in there yet. So I'm like, okay, is the information from the Cleveland branch under there yet? Because I haven't seen it in a new revised book, and that would be, and it's kind of hard to do anyway because it depends on who's at the top of the tree, where do you start? Because everyone's family tree is huge. It's huge. I mean, decades and centuries, and there's a lot depending on where you're starting in the tree, what part of the tree you're looking at, not really starting, what part of the tree are you looking at? So that's a lot, and where you fit in that tree. So the good part about that weekend, I mean, just the Saturday, actually, we got to, just like I said, had some fun talking and laughing and just all this kind of stuff, and then getting more clarification on the book. And I found that important, and I'm glad I did that, made those changes, because I just love it when God comes along and change my schedule. Because, I had other plans, so hanging out with my girlfriend. I was looking forward to having lunch with her wherever we were going to have. And I don't even know right now what that was, but it didn't matter because I still had something to eat, but with my physical family, Dan's family, my husband's family. So that was kind of cool. And so, like I said, my father also has his family tree, and every year they have a family reunion. So he would go every year to this family reunion with my mom or his brother or siblings, whoever was going to go. My mom has been gone 23 years, something like that. So after that, it would have been his brother or other family members that he would go with. He would go every year without fail. One time we didn't go was the 2 years of pandemic, and 3 other years there was some real funky thing that happened. So he wasn't able to go, even though those other 3 years the reunion was on. I think people got married. He had somebody get married. Those were other things that came up on those weekends because it's always the same weekend every year down south. So he wasn't able to go for a good 5 years in a row because it was ready to come back, but then the pandemic came and that just knocked 2 years out. So me and my husband, on the other hand, we wouldn't go every year because we like to travel, we like other things to do, and sometimes we have to work, because we would only go for a quick weekend because we always have to be back on Monday, or we just had other things to do because it was always around a time when it was a holiday, and we're like, no, we're not trying to do that. And I don't know, we were younger, and I was thinking, same old people, it's just kind of something that I'm trying to remember, like, why the heck was we not going every single year? Because I don't know, I just thought it wasn't as important. Now, since the pandemic, now we're going to go every single year now until God says we can't, or take us home, or whatever changes that. Because his particular family, they've had this family reunion. The 75th was before the pandemic. So now because of the pandemic, I'm thinking that 80th should be either next year or the year after, because I kind of lost count there. So I'm sure they're getting ready. I got to find those next year, the 80th, since they've had one every year. But like I said, 2 years came and threw it off kilter. So the 80th would have already happened if it hadn't been for the 2 years of the pandemic. So it's going to be real close right now, the 80th. So we're definitely going to want to be there for that. I can find Phyllis next year. So it's just been wonderful that the family has been having these gatherings for 80 plus years already, 80 years, getting ready to be plus. And my father's very family oriented. He'd make sure that we're always doing things that are family. Anytime there's a family thing, he's ready to go. We got to be there for whatever it is, a wedding, even for funerals, whatever the event is, but mainly just to gather, be with people. Because, funerals and weddings are besides a reunion, are 2 or 3 of the things that do bring families together instantly: a funeral, wedding, and a reunion. And then there's just other events that come up, like, oh, okay, maybe we'll have a mini reunion, part of the arm in some state or some city or whatever. So, but whatever that thing is, if my father hears about it, we're on the way. We're on a plane, we're on or a plane, we're in a car, we're out of here. I was going to say a train, but my father hasn't been on a train with me. So I've been on a train, but he hasn't been on a train. Plane, car, we there. Because we love to travel. And it's his fault that I like to travel at all because we're always on the go. And then every time you travel, it has to be family oriented. He doesn't, it's very rare. I can't even think of a time when he's traveled, except one time with me where he's traveled and it wasn't tied to going to see family. All his trips have been going to see family, even with other people's families with them to take them to see their family. He's done that. There's only been one other trip that he and I went on a cruise where there was no family involved, only because I wanted to expose him to being on a cruise. But other than that, and that's the reason why we didn't want to go on a cruise. Unless the family's there, why should I go on a cruise? But, I guess then he found out it's kind of cool. But hey, I'm the traveler, so I'm the cruiser, I'm the planer, I'm the trainer, I'm the whatever. Just getting away to go travel. So it's just good to go see people. And then I always make sure that, I've told you before, that if I'm in town traveling for what reason, it could be a non-family event reason for me to be in town. If there's family or friends or spiritual family from my church that's within 50 miles or wherever I'm going to be, I'm going to make sure that I get a chance to see them. And that's partly from my father, watching him doing that, but it's also partly from that time I was telling you about, that time I missed my aunt out in California. I just don't want to live with any regret that I didn't see family member, especially family member X, because I didn't make time to see them. And then the next time I go, they're not there anymore because they're no longer above ground. So if there's anything I can do to see somebody within 50 miles or wherever I am, I'm doing that. I've been in situations where I've been in cities where there's a lot of family, there's a lot of friends, there's a lot of church family, and I only have so much time to be there. So what I would do is, in those particular cities, sometimes I would say, okay, I'm gonna be available on XYZ date. Come to our hotel, come to our wherever we're gonna be between the hours of whatever and whatever. It will be there. It's almost like open house, but not open house. Just come on by. We're going to be here. You can see us, come see us. Cool. If you can't, you can't. So that way I can get to see how many people. I've done that in several different states. So that a lot of times works out a lot better than, okay, let's go get dinner. Let's come to your house. Because, we don't have time. We don't have time to drive around and see everybody and spending the kind of time people would prefer, or, because they just don't have time. Because we just don't have time. But it's great when we get a chance to have a little small gathering and people come in and show up, especially if it's physical family and they're all family together, because then it's almost like a quick family reunion, just informal. So it's just important to do that. So when God provides those opportunities for you to see your family, like just with us on Saturday, because that was definitely not on my schedule, that was definitely not on any of our schedule, but everybody that came had to change their schedule, because everybody definitely, Saturday is not a day. Saturday is not a day that I have open to do nothing, to sleep in, to nothing. I don't even have any kind of day that's like that. It just doesn't exist. And most people don't either, because we just don't have that kind of time. That's just the nature of the way the world is right now. Sitting around doing nothing is not part of the plan. So it just doesn't happen. So when God gives you the opportunity to see family or friends or members of your church somewhere, and it's not on your schedule, and you can make a change, do it. Because you just never know what will come out of that. What the reason for that. The bigger overarching may have been one point, but then it might lead into other stuff, because other things did come out of the thing we did on Saturday, which had nothing to do with that reunion book, but it still had to do with family. So it gave us our opportunity to have a conversation about certain things in the family. So it gave us that opportunity. So God said, nope, I need y'all to be there in person instead of doing texting, instead of doing phone calls, instead of doing emails, instead of doing Facebook, social media, whatever. Face-to-face encounters is always the best. So I'm thinking about the scripture in 1 Timothy 5:8. And it says, anyone who does not provide for their relatives, and especially for their own household, has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. The only reason why this even came to mind for me is, it says provide for their relatives. you think of providing, you think about, okay, you're giving them food, housing, all that kind of stuff. And it's talking about for people, relatives, and especially for the ones in your own household. But it's talking about relatives. That could be relatives that are quite distant. And providing doesn't always mean just what I just said: housing, clothing, food. Providing for them could be just spending time with them, having talks with them, conversations with them, just whatever, because time is valuable. So there may not even be any monetary purpose in providing for them at all. It's just being with them, loving them, just listening to their story. Maybe they just want you to talk to them, pray with them. I don't know. But we need to always remember that. Provide for our families. Because what you put out comes back. So if you're not putting out, we're supposed to be doing things to put out to receive. We're putting out because we want to put out. We're compelled because we are children of God, and we're always putting out. Yeah, the benefits always come back huge, and actually the benefits come back more than what you put out, but that's not the reason why you put it. God compels you to do whatever this put out is, whether it's just spending time with someone, listening to them, reading to them, whatever. Just like this Saturday, they came in, let's spend some time with them, and we did. And then a lot of other stuff came out of it. Just being together. Of course, now they're talking about other things like, okay, we need to get a bigger family reunion or something. I don't know. And maybe they will, because, they have had several family reunions, my husband's side. They're just not as periodic, or annual, like my father's side of the family. And even on my mother's side, I don't know a whole lot about her family, actually, any at all. So they don't have any family reunions. So one side of my family, all together, family reunion every year. The other side of my family, not so much, not at all. In fact, I don't think we've ever had a family reunion on her side of the family. So it's a really big difference. But, we just work with the people that we do know. So, I think I'm just going to let this go. Let me stop talking and, because every week I'm just still listening. Oh, the rain is slowing down now. I'm just loving this time of chilling and listening to the raindrops instead of being an hour away at a restaurant. I'm looking at the clock to see where right now we'd be chowing down on whatever it is. I don't know, but we meet at this particular restaurant, the same restaurant every month. And I'm sitting here talking with you guys instead about the importance of just spending time with your family, especially when it's impromptu. Because you just never know. The minute you don't go to that thing that someone invited you to, you don't want to be in regret, because now you miss seeing them because they're not here anymore, or you're not here anymore, or you're in a situation where you can't even go anymore. So just make sure we're providing for our families with time, whatever it is, just be our families while we still have them. See you guys next week, which is in August, next month. See you in August. See you later.